Science over politics. The message demonstrators in Broken Arrow made sure the city council heard loud and clear.
High school students in Owasso will start virtual learning today. Why younger grades aren't making the switch.
Bars and restaurants in Oklahoma will soon close at 11 p.m. for inside service. Why they're concerned about other changes.
Covering news that matters. Fox 23 News This Morning starts right now.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Lynn.
And I'm Ron Terrell. The time is 4:30. Another Broken Arrow school is moving online today as the city council was met with demonstrators last night.
Despite calls for a mask mandate there, it's never come up for a vote.
But first, don't let those cool temperatures fool you when you step out the door. Meteorologist Michael Sager is tracking a warm and windy day with high fire danger.
Yeah, that grass fire this afternoon in about 10 minutes.
Let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers from the State Department of Health.
Oklahoma set a new record for the number of patients in the hospital. 1,434 people are waking up in hospital beds this morning, and there are nearly 60 more people in the ICU. That number is now at 447, which is a new record.
The State Health Department announced 1,551 new cases Tuesday and 6 new deaths. There are nearly 29,000 active cases statewide. More than 4,300 are in Tulsa County.
A group of concerned citizens in Broken Arrow is urging city councilors there to pass a mask mandate. Fox 23's Naomi Kidd is live at City Hall with the rally they held to share that message.
Michelle, so it's quiet out here. I'll have that part of the story for you at 5. Reporting live in Broken Arrow, covering news that matters, I'm Naomi Kidd, Fox 23 News.
Meanwhile, another Broken Arrow school is moving to distance learning today. District leaders say all students at Aspen Creek Elementary will transition through Friday with plans for students to return to classrooms after Thanksgiving break on Monday, November 30th.
Owasso City councilors passed a resolution to strongly encourage the use of masks and other protective measures. Though no mandate is in effect, Owasso is also recommending people avoid group gatherings whenever possible.
Many kids say they don't learn anything or that it's useless, and so they feel like it's kind of a waste of time. They want to be in school, and if our students want to be in school, why aren't we letting them be in school?
Happening today, Owasso's 9th through 12th grades start learning from home, and some parents aren't happy about the switch. Fox 23's Scott Martin is live outside Owasso with why parents say they're unhappy.
Yeah, Ron, Owasso parents say they're unhappy because they weren't part of that decision, part of deciding through the end of this semester. Now, coming up in 30 minutes, hear from the superintendent and what she says has to happen in order to get those kids back in class. We're live in Owasso this morning covering news that matters. I'm Scott Martin, Fox 23 News.
Bartlesville Public Schools are keeping traditional learning going with students in the classrooms, even as several districts are forced to move to distance learning. Fewer than 5% of high school students there are in quarantine. The superintendent explained to us what may be helping.
I think geography helps us. Obviously we are not a Tulsa suburb. If we were physically located there, we'd probably have a lot of the same issues.
He says if Bartlesville schools feel the need to transition students to distance learning, it would likely just affect high schoolers.
We're hearing from the TPS superintendent, Dr. Deborah Gist, following Governor Stitt's announcement. He hopes to see all students back in schools right after winter break.
Recently, we've seen several districts transition students to distance learning because of the spread of the virus, the growing number of cases, and the impact on students and staff forced to quarantine. In contrast, Tulsa Public Schools is moving forward with a phased approach to bringing students back, focusing first on the youngest students.
In an interview with our radio partner, KRMG, Dr. Gist says in-person learning is the ideal education option, but safety is the main priority.
At the same time, though, we have to be smart and we have to follow the guidelines that we're receiving from the medical experts, and we have to watch these cases.
TPS plans to allow the remaining elementary students to return to the classroom at the end of the month. Middle and high school students will move back into classrooms after winter break.
Count on Fox 23 for coverage of the coronavirus with the information you need here on air and on the Fox 23 News app.
A man accused in a violent home invasion of an elderly couple in East Tulsa is now in custody.
Tulsa police arrested Deshaun Patrick on Tuesday. In October, police say Patrick and another suspect put a 74-year-old man in a headlock, then forced the victim and his wife inside a home where they stole a wallet. They say they then took the couple's SUV.
Patrick's being held on a more than $350,000 bond.
A Tulsa man is waiting to be sentenced after pleading guilty to shooting and killing his girlfriend.
James Landry pled guilty to voluntary manslaughter in federal court. Investigators say Landry shot Crystal Bradley in July at Philpott Park. This is now a federal case because of this year's Supreme Court ruling affecting jurisdiction on tribal land.
Bradley is a member of the Cherokee Nation, and the park is on Muskogee Creek Nation land. Landry's sentencing is set for January.
Tulsa police arrested a teenager suspected of shooting a man in a robbery 2 months ago. They're also looking for Quantavion Smith. Police say Smith and that teen lured two men to an apartment complex to buy a gun. The suspects then robbed the victims and shot one of them with the very pistol that they thought the men were going to purchase.
Right. The victims definitely didn't make the right choice to go about purchasing a handgun on the street. Obviously, it's not a real smart decision.
Police say Smith is a gang member. He's also a felon with several cases pending in the court system right now. At 4:39, an Oklahoma senator filed a bill for the next legislative session in honor of fallen TPD Sergeant Craig Johnson. We told you when he was killed in the line of duty in June. Senate Bill 1, authored by Senator Chuck Hall of Perry, Oklahoma, would strengthen statutes on scrap metal theft. Sergeant Johnson was invested in preventing scrap metal theft, particularly the copper wire stolen from streetlights that caused outages all over Tulsa. A similar bill didn't advance this year because of the pandemic. 48 degrees, not too bad out there. It's terrible in here because the air conditioning's on full blast. I don't recommend that at home.
Yeah, it's a little frigid in the studio right now, I'm not going to lie. But at least outside, not too bad as you are in about 10 minutes.
Right now, 4:41 is the time. The need for plasma for those fighting the coronavirus is high and the supply is low. How you can help. Tonight is the last night for a while. Oklahoma bars can stay open past 11. Hear from Tulsa bartenders as they prepare for the change. COVID-19 once again causing some challenges for local bars and restaurants. We told you when Governor Kevin Stitt announced all bars and restaurants will have to close by 11 p.m. Fox 23's Amanda Harry is live near Maine and Cameron with the financial impact of the newly announced restrictions.
Ron, not only will all those bars and restaurants have to close by 11, they'll also have to set up their tables 6 feet apart. Live in Tulsa, covering news that matters, Amanda Harry, Fox 23 News.
Fox 23's radio partner KRMG is in the middle of their annual Stories of Light fundraiser for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Take a look. This was the scene Tuesday at LaFortune Park. KRMG's Radiothon is Make-A-Wish Oklahoma's biggest fundraiser. The goal is to collect $300,000 in donations by tomorrow to support the ongoing mission of granting wishes for children with critical illnesses.
Kids are still getting sick with life-threatening illnesses despite this pandemic. The wishes are piling up, and eventually that dam's going to have to break once we can travel again. A lot of the wishes involve travel. We want to make sure that Make-A-Wish of Oklahoma can pay for those wishes.
You can help by donating at LaFortune Park from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. So they will be out there taking your donations in just about 15 minutes today and tomorrow, or you can just text WISH to 70123. We'll be talking with our radio partners at KRMG and Make-A-Wish about the fundraiser coming up in our 7 o'clock hour.
A milestone for the Oklahoma Blood Institute, providing hospitals the 10,000th unit of convalescent plasma.
But the work for the Oklahoma Blood Institute is far from over. Part of the reason for the increased demand is that surge in COVID-19 cases.
The problem is the demand is high, but the supply is low.
Giving convalescent plasma is relatively safe. The Mayo Clinic study showed that the adverse effect of these plasma are quite low, and it is indeed a part of the toolkit for clinicians on the front line trying to treat COVID-19 hospitalized patients.
OBI and the American Red Cross say there's also a huge need for blood donations. Donors can give at OBI locations in Tulsa near 81st and Yale.
That plasma can make such a big difference for patients. I know I had a relative who was critically sick and received that plasma, and we're convinced it really helped.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely anything that anybody can do to help right now.
2 weeks after the 2020 general election, the LGBTQ community is still celebrating what they call a rainbow wave. More than 200 people in the community elected to public office across the country. Morgan Allen with Tulsa-based Oklahomans for Equality says they now have more representation from tribal leadership to Congress to city council.
It's really encouraging to have reflection of your status, of your LGBTQIA+ status, no matter who that is, in government.
The latest numbers show more than 800 LGBTQ elected officials nationwide, including 5 right here in Oklahoma. We are off to a mild start this morning. It could be worse. I think it's colder in here than it is outside. It's going to be windier outside, possibly. I don't know. The air's on full blast. We've got high fire danger ahead today.
Yeah, that's going to be the only downside to today will be that wind. Thanksgiving Day should be okay. We'll have a slight chance of a shower, but at least temperatures look warm now for Thanksgiving. Then we'll cool off the day after Thanksgiving. Breaking down what we've got out there, though, this morning for the morning drive in about 10 minutes.
The time now 4:51.
She kept saying, I'm going to lose my license. My career is over. Everything I've worked for in my entire life is gone because I got help.
A mental health crisis for doctors on the front lines. In a Fox 23 investigation, I found out what keeps many from getting the help they need and how things are changing now. Making sure your family looks their best for Thanksgiving, what a church is doing to help everyone look good for the holidays. A Seminole officer responds to a house fire only to realize it's his own home. The rescue of his 2 teenage sons that has many calling him a hero.
Tulsa Tech will be moving to virtual learning next week. They say the move is just a precaution. Since next week will be fall break, only Monday and Tuesday classes are affected by the change. They plan to welcome students back on campus Monday, November 30th to finish out the fall semester.
A student at Cherokee Elementary in Tahlequah tested positive for coronavirus. The district says 2 staff members and 9 other students who were all in close contact with that student will be in quarantine.
In Wagner County, the health department is offering free COVID-19 drive-through testing this week. It will be offered at both health department locations in Wagner and Coweta each day from 9 to 10:30 a.m. No appointment is needed. Just drive up and get tested. 4:55 is the time. A letter to Broken Arrow's mayor and demonstrators outside City Hall. What city councilors are saying as the push for a mask mandate there grows. High school students in Owasso will start virtual learning today. The reason other grades won't be doing the same.
Live look from our North Tulsa Skyview camera back over downtown. Clear skies overhead and temperatures not quite as chilly as what they've been the last couple of mornings. We'll break that down and look at that morning drive in about 3 minutes.